Hey boardies, welcome to AmassGames. My name is Simon. Today I'm bringing you 30 through to 21 of the top 2,121 board games that I've reviewed as of beginning of this year, 2023. Now, right now it's about 2,500 board games. However, I've been reviewing lots of other board games throughout the year and I've just not got around to getting around to the rest of this list, but this list is being printed off, so I'm sticking with this list. Little change possibly, depending on where I get to for 2024, because there's another 300 other games which may have crept into this list as well. But starting off at number 30, this is a specific set that you can play with any other set. We're talking about Unmatched, and we're talking about Bruce Lee. It's quite a rare set to get hold of. I very much enjoy playing it. You're literally bashing and pummeling like that. There's a very interesting documentary. I say very interesting. It's not that deep necessarily to some degree, however, just the hidden footage and the footage which you might not have spotted before involving Bruce Lee and how he tries to punch someone like this. And if you see, I don't know, there's like a board game here like this. And there's an interesting thing when you watch the Nature Boy documentary for also on Disney. So there's Disney for that, and also Nature Boy, I think Be Water is what it's called by with Bruce Lee. So that's number 30. 29, Legends of Andor, unsurprisingly, considering it's everywhere I've got my stuff. I've got all the expansions so far, or most expansions, the promos and big box expansions. Still haven't touched that stuff yet, but this game, I actually met the designer and the illustrator, Michael Menzel, over in 2023 at the Essen Fair, so check out my playlist for that. Check out my Instagram stuff where I have my photograph with him. It's very touched to hear I played it over 45 times. Yes, it's one of the 45 games I've played at least 45 times. I've also played at least 45 times with 45 different players as well. So that is 29, a cooperative game whereby you're very puzzling, trying to figure stuff out, and it's a tower defense game. You can let one monster in, but not more than one, and that's the thing I've spoken with Z Garcia about, who I played with as well this year at the Spiel Fair. So next up we have Rise of Augustus. Now you might see my Caldera Park video, which might actually make this list too, but for now we've got Rise of Augustus, or Augustus, depending on which version or where you get hold of the game, which is no longer in print, by Hurricane, because I think they've fallen out with Polar Murray or something like that, and it's been re-implemented as well. But that game I very much enjoy. It's like Bingo, which is also Paolo Mori's from Italy. Bingo was designed in Italy around 1934. Beanos were called initially because using beans, not counters. Lovely, enjoyable game, artwork by Vincent Dutrait, who loves, civilization games or older kind of antiquity games. Up next, we have Santo Domingo. We've talked about this recently as well. So there's Santo Domingo, a game a bit like Citadels, but I prefer it. And Stephen Risthouse has been messaging me as well, been chatting quite a lot online, so looking forward to meet at the Spiel Fair next year, hopefully. This is a game re-implementation of Visby, I believe, and it's set in the Port Royal universe. I've been to Santo Domingo. You might know I like to go to locations, and I've been to over 250 now where board games have been named after them. This is a game whereby you're looking to play cards at the same time. It's all simultaneous. However, you're trying to outthink your opponent and crucially think about whether or not you want to go up a different track. One of 8 different options, being aware that once you've played a card, you've obviously got to play a different card unless you take your cards back. If you take cards back at the same time as somebody else, that might be a detriment as well. But do you rather try and get these points or go for some other points? It's a nice game, 2 to 6 players, a bit quicker with fewer players. But in terms of duration, I think lots of people do like it with more players too. So that's number 27. Number 26 is Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective, The Thames Murders and Other Cases. Very much enjoy this. This is the original one, the first 10, the one that won the SPIEL.digital, so check my playlist for that. This is a game whereby you're playing over 10 cases, they compound and build on each other, which compared to the other Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective series is better than this original one in some respects, because this one, you have a lot of memory, we have to go back over prior newspapers, which you might want to do. Up at 25, we've talked about Horn Oxen on Take 5, or this is Take 11, or 11 Nimmt. 11 Takes. This is a game which is by Wolfgang Kramer, designed around 2000, so it came out after Zergsnimt in 1994, which was nominated for Game of the Year, SPIEL.digital over in Germany, and in 1998 there was Horn Oxen, which is Take 5. This one I find a bit more planning, and it isn't simultaneous, well in some way it is, but it's with fewer players. It's only 2 to 7 players, not 2 to 10, or with Horn Oxen it's 2 to 6. So Horn Oxen, by the way, means bullheads, which is also known as Take 5. Artwork again by Franz Vohwinkel. So in at number 24 we have Zug um Zug. Now this is the German version of Ticket to Ride, very much like the original one, but this one as well, I've played all the versions, With Zuckum Zug, I found Erfurt, which I nearly went to last year in Germany, which is just a nice bottleneck in a 2-player game. At 23, there's a new version of Splendor with Pokemon. I've also got Marvel Splendor on the channel too. This is the original one by 2014 Marc Andre. Did not win the Spiel.digital, but should have done. Keltis won out in that case to the designer, which I met again this year, actually the first time, and that was, I'm completely blanking now, but Rainer Knizia. Now you can check my playlist for him as well. Up next, a tiny game, Lie. People be talking about this. My second most watched video on the channel is Perudo. This is very similar, but involves cards instead of dice. I'll probably be playing it again over in Germany this winter, where it's called Bluff, and it's slightly different. But Perudo, Liar's Dice, and Lie, all very similar, whereby you're bluffing, trying to say how many values you've got, because it's like a helter-skelter as I think about it. Your values always have to keep on going up, and if you can't go high enough and you get caught out, then that is a negative to you, because you can lose a card, lose a die, and ultimately you have less chance to bluff next time. Finally, at 21, Viticulture Visitors from the Vine Valley, or Visit from the Vine Valley. Now, this is another expansion. This is a mini expansion. It changed out some decks of cards from the game Viticulture or Viticulture Essential Edition. Personally, I wouldn't want to play those games again unless it's got this expansion. That is how good this expansion is. And I'm not saying how bad Viticulture is, but I just think there's too much luck going on. Too much time that you're milling the deck, trying to wait for Sauvignon Blanc to come up. You don't have to ever even make wine. I've won the game numerous times, never making any wine in Viticulture, and especially with this one, it forces the game to play differently, and that's why I like this one so much. Any comments, as always, let me know. The comments are best on YouTube. There's a podcast, a new episode went live 2 hours ago. Also check out various posts over on Instagram. They went live today, at least 4 did. Also head through to Facebook to join the discussion. There's obviously Patreon, you can support the channel, Ko-fi as well, and also there's occasional competitions by Linktree. There is something coming, but not yet. I might wait off a little bit for that one. And that's it. Like I said, lots of more stuff to cover off, and like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and speak to you again for 20 through to 11. Back to the table.